Now, before we jump into this next section, I'd just like to do a recap of what's going on with the advanced logo design part of this. Here is an example of a design I've done, and you can see that the text itself or the company name or whatever it is fairly simple because the object that we're focusing on is obviously the van, which makes up an incredible amount of different objects. And the idea is by using the pen tool, we are able to create objects on layers, and based on their position on the layers is where those objects would appear. So, for example, this new window is on the top layer on top of the van. And just like the shadowing and all the other objects, they're layered on top of each other, and 100 of them create one advanced graphic. So let's get right back into Adobe Illustrator and create some fantastic stuff. Back into section 2 of advanced logo design, and here we have a coconut and it's in the husk. So what we're going to do is grab the pen tool and we're going to do some things just around the outline of a lighter green, kind of giving it that husk lighter green look. And we're going to want, we'll just play with a few colors first. It'll just be right along the edges to give it that appearance of a husk, because a husk kind of goes down in a line. Incredible amount of points that are going to have to be edited right there. No better time than the present to zoom in. You can still see crystal clear vector object. Now we can go in with the white arrow and adjust these points to get them up there and right there. That is kind of green. Maybe we can tone that down a little bit. Add some, maybe some brown. That's maybe a little better. That's good. And that kind of matches the tree. And we're going to adjust those more. And zoom out 100%. Aspect ratio, always 100%. Drag that, drop it on the ground. Ooh. Undo. Group that. Drag that, drop it on the ground. For now. Now we're going to need to capture the sunlight side of this tree. So we're going to go down one side, over, and then up, up. Ooh, I kind of like how it goes real sharp there. Like that. And you're going to look at your layers panel and you're going to want to put what we just did underneath everything except the trunk itself. We're going to leave that, and I already know there's a couple things I want to fix on it, but let's just continue on right now. I want to make sure everything's isolated properly in my layers, and I know that I've grouped the coconut. I just want to cut it out, and then I want to lock all the other layers and add another layer, because these are isolating my objects. And if I just paste that, it's going to paste it out onto that layer. Just coca. Now it's time to get busy on some of these palm tree leaves. I'm going to create a new layer, and we're going to grab our trusty pen tool. We're going to start carving that out back into points, like so. And we're only going to really need to do one, and we can maybe copy it, change it. This, we'll see how that goes. Now I'm going to take a look at this with a fill, and we'll kind of maybe bring that part down. Just conceptual, right? I can do whatever I want in order to get the perfect result. Just going to stick a fill in that, see what color I'm looking at. It's not the color I'm going to go for, but I as well pick a lighter color of green while I'm here. Something along that line. Good. If I pick this point here, I can drag that like so, pointing it down. It's kind of nice, and it maintains the box outline, the jagged box outline that I want to keep. Now it is a matter of probably just copy paste, see how that's going to look for us. If we take this, and if you use the black tool, then you'll notice how it turns into a rotator like that. Okay, we line up the points. These are separate objects now. They're two separate objects, so they can be moved as such, and we're not going to have to pay very much attention to how they look or where they're layered right now. We just want to get a few out onto the stage. We have that already there. This over here, we can flip it, mirror it, make it smaller, you can make it bigger. If you want variety, and that's always good. Most likely one of the most time-consuming parts going on here, because this will be containing the most elements. And I'm just mirroring, and I'm rotating. That's not where I end, because I will take some of these and make them a little different, I think, because I like variety. Paste another one out, and let's try to rotate this straight. Yeah. This is one I will custom out for sure, because I want to stick it behind everything. And grabbing that point, I'm able to straighten it out, grab that other point, and straighten that out like that, which is what I'm trying to accomplish, and then I go into another little rotate. If I put that there, this is also resizing here. If I grab it by its corner, twist it up. Now I did say this is going to be the one in the back. And here we're in another one of those situations like the shadow, where you kind of really train to get that stuff done. Usually somebody teaches you, or in my case, you do it 1,000 times. We automatically want to take this, cut it out, and then go right into here. We're going to add a new layer. Going to put it behind the tree trunk, and then we can just paste it in place. And that automatically goes behind the trunk, which I guess doesn't really matter, but we want it there anyway. I'm going to add more to it in a second. Okay, I'm really liking this. I'm just going to do that, and I want to zoom in because I just want to make sure this is right. And at a larger scale, I think it's going to make a lot of difference. And if I need to adjust the points, that's good. So I'm going to be honest, I can't really remember what the top of a palm tree is going to be looking like, but I think I'm nailing it. I hope. Okay, let's leave that there for now and see what we can do with these other elements and objects. I want to put a coconut up there. That's going to help. Maybe use that coconut as even after the design is all said and done. I've mentioned before I'm going to be looking at a picture of the real thing and maybe make adjustments. This way I like better. It's a little more creative and free-flowing. So copy, paste, 2 coconuts. Might be working. I don't know. I'll play with that more. Right now, we can go on to another element. Oh, our leaves, we're going to want to add the shadow. Let's isolate those leaves and make sure everything else is locked, like our coconut. We're able to see where our things are at on our layers panel. And that's our behind the trunk leaf. These are our other leaves. Now we'll leave this one because we want to make sure it's behind there. And if we do what we're going to do with the rest of these, it will be more difficult. We're going to separate and group these as one group of leaves. And then on that, I'll do its shadow. Now I'm split on this because I can do a shadow, or I can do its spine, or I can do its, what those be called, individual leaves. But maybe I'll try one on each and go with what works best. Now the shadow first, I can just go and pick off the sand for color. And I already have my stroke set. And I'm going to zoom in on this so we get the best view and the best look here. I'm just going to do the shadow down the edge of this side and then back up to give it the same effect as you'd see on the trunk of the palm tree. And we'll see how that looks, and then see if we just keep in on the edge and go back into the jagged parts. They don't have to be perfect. We can change them if we need to later, but this should look okay. I want to go back in on that. And always remember, if you get too close to another anchor, it might fasten itself where you don't want it to, but you can always just undo that. Now if I click on that, then I've created the object. I give it the fill. I'll just take the, I want lighter, so because I don't want it to match the tree. I could to see how it looks. It's kind of cool. I was thinking maybe lighter though. Whoa, that is really, really light. And we don't really know how that light is going to look necessarily because, well, I don't think we're going to have a background. This will be a boxed logo, so there'll be no backgrounds or anything like that. Sorry, an unboxed logo. This will be an object logo. Therefore, everything behind it would be transparent. So that's the look we're going for. And maybe we can give that a bit of yellow, because in on some of those we want them to be yellow because it's sun. It's the sun hidden there. Whether that works for us or not, I don't know. You can look. Next we're going to try the spines. Maybe we can even add them all. I want to just draw an object and I'm going to put a shadow on it, but the shadow that I'm putting on it is going to be another object. So we have a really good solid understanding of the shadowing process. Now, just right off the top of my head, I'm going to just think of a red vase or something along those lines, and I don't necessarily have to have it perfect here because this is shadowing technique 101, and these are just kind of a really good trick that I've learned to do perfect shadowing. As you can see, I have my object, nothing special going on there. Copy and paste my object. Now I take the stroke off that, I turn that object black. I have two objects, the vase and a black vase. Using the opacity, we are turning that transparent, bringing down its color too. Just like so. And you can see its transparency and color going across like that. Because if we take it like this and then we resize it, or we stretch it, or we turn it on its side, or we reflect it, we have it in like so, and then we just put it behind it, and we have something like that, which you're going to play with because there's all different reflections. The light is coming from here, shining down on there. You'd be left with something like that. And by controlling its opacity, which is really low, in fact I might just want to bring it up just so you're able to see it. We'll have it a dark shadow. Then that way any other elements underneath or in front are going to be easily seen through that shadow, and it's going to look like a shadow, like this little blue square mess of a ball. Where do we put that? We're going to put that there. Okay, so this is in front, but let's say it's kind of behind the vase and a shadow is going to be cast upon it. So we bring it down. That object is now going into the shadow zone. So that is that's a really nice thing I use to do shadows. Also, just another quick way. Take this, copy, paste it. Okay, put it back in its position. Get rid of its stroke. Turn it black. Bring down its opacity. Way down. Bring it underneath the vase. And then with arrows, let's just go shift 1, 2, shift up 1, 2. No, down 1, 2, 1, 2. Or you can just manually put it in. That's always going to give it like a third dimension shadow to your design. There you have it, shadowing. I think while we're at it, I'm going to show you some texture shadowing, which is obviously, once again, just accomplished with the pen tool. And I'm just going to be working off fills. And let me see, light coming down from this direction is going to cast a shadow here, meaning the light will appear here and the vase will appear darker here. So let's just follow the lines like so. Follow those all the way up. And this is where I like to just get in here and get all kind of different zigzaggies down to its original point. No stroke, no problem. Bring that down. Down. You see? It just follows through with what would be considered the back shadow. Because light from here casts light here, casts dark on what would be the other side of the vase and the shadow. And I know it's not very good, but it teaches you shadowing, which is good. One more super quick thing here is glare. How do we represent glare? Well, not with a dark color, with a light color. And it's kind of like yellows, but usually kind of maybe white would be better suited. We'll see here. Just on the edge. Nice and small. Just like so. And then light. Oh, hey, there we go. Now, just to make sure you can see that properly, I'll just intensify the whole thing. You obviously know that opacity controls intensity. Therefore, you'll be bringing it up and down as you see fit, making adjustments, making changes, taking things, grouping them, moving them once they're grouped. Hey, what else do you want to do with it? Change colors, make it brighter, adjust things, brightness. Ooh, I love that noise. So good. Contrast, brightness, bring the brightness up, contrast down, contrast up, brightness. But you get the idea. And then you have an object with shadowing.